5 games to go in the La Liga season and we're now just 2 points behind Barcelona. This is on, everybody. In addition to that, we've got the second leg of our Champions League quarter-final against Dortmund and fingers crossed can book a semi-final spot in the Champions League as well. This is all shaping up to be a typical Kev season climax. I just wish we'd have found form a little bit earlier in the season. Hello and welcome to part 9 of the Spanish leg of the Expedition of Gold. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Leganés in La Liga. I've probably said that wrong. And then at home against Dortmund in the second leg of our Champions League semi-final. Since you were last with me, it's been a sea of green. We're scoring goals aplenty, not just with Atletico either, but with England. We had a couple of ridiculous results. An 8-1 and a 9-0 in our first World Cup qualifiers. It's fair to say that all started rather well. And regardless of what happens in the rest of the season at club level, we've got the Confederations Cup coming up this summer and fingers crossed can add another international trophy to our growing trophy basket. Basket, is that right? But the league table, if we have a look at the league table, let's get away from England. Forget about them. They don't exist at the moment. If we have a look at the league table, this is how things are. 5 games to go. We're 2 points behind Barcelona. They are starting to slip up and we're keeping the pressure on. So fingers crossed we can apply a little bit more pressure today. A win in this game, because Barcelona don't play until tomorrow when they play against Athletic Club. If we can win now, we'll go top of the league for 24 hours and really start to apply the pressure on Barcelona. As you can see, Umdouli is joint top scorer in the division. We've got the 3 best players in the division as well. We really are hitting top form at exactly the right time. I just wish it had started like 3 games earlier and then we'd be clear at the top of the league by now. But this is the team that we're going to be playing for the first of today's game, the all-important league game. We've got Abdulrahman in goal, a back four of Calvello, Moldovan, Herrera and Rapaj, with Camacho, Arnelt and Wagner in midfield and Oscar in behind Pirani and Umdouli. Look at the amount of goals those two have between them now as well. That's just insane. I feel like I've glossed over the fact we beat Dortmund 5-3 away from home as well. The big enemy from last season when we were at Bayern Munich. That was certainly no mean feat. Why do we care about the Europa League? We also don't care about Sevilla. And we're just resting Fantan because he had a little bit of a knock against Dortmund, so it makes sense to just give him a little bit of a rest. After all that build-up, we've been down this road before. I assume because of all that build-up I've just given it, this is just going to be a 1-0 defeat or a ball draw, and that'll be that as far as a title challenge goes. But I thought they were going to score almost immediately on the start of the game. But it's keeping me going, knowing that we have got an outside chance of actually pulling off the ridiculous feat of winning our 3rd consecutive league title in 3 different countries on full seasons played. We're not counting that last 10 games we had at Bayern Munich, but the last 2 full seasons we played, we won the Bundesliga with Bayern and we won the Premier League with Tottenham. If we can do this, it'll be one of the greatest feats I've ever achieved. It's probably the greatest thing I've ever achieved in Football Manager, which would be awesome. And Umdouli's in to make it 1-0 with half an hour on the clock. He pushes... Oh, it's disallowed. Oh, that's sad. For a split second there, we were top of the league with 4 games to go. And that was very exciting. Hopefully that's just a little bit of a taste of things to come, just to whet the appetite. And now we're going to... Camacho, what you thinking? I can feel it. I can feel a draw emerging out of this game already. Leganés have already had 2 clear-cut chances. We've had none. We're not the same team we were even against Dortmund a couple of days ago. It's like for some reason the players have decided this game was a lower priority, which is just silly. Hopefully we can sort that out though and go and grab some goals now. And Pirani does score, and that surely wasn't offside. It wasn't. Oscar's assist is going to be replayed again and again. We'll replay it once. It just looked like a fairly basic pass to a striker with his back to goal to me. I don't know. I guess it's a decent through ball that Pirani actually made more difficult for himself by just stopping it and turning. If it just ran through onto it, he'd have scored even sooner. But as it is, with half an hour to go in this match, we are top of the league. for the first time in goodness knows how long. And hopefully Barcelona are starting to feel the pressure. But we need to finish this game off and make sure that we do come out of this with the 3 points that we need to apply that pressure to Barcelona. And they then do have a challenging game against Athletic Club coming up tomorrow, which we're obviously going to be very, very interested in. Right, Camacho out to Calvello. Still playing out of position. We've done this whole season without a left-back, which makes it even more remarkable what we're achieving. And Pirani makes it 2-0 with his 27th goal of the season. I think that pulls him level with Mdouli for goals scored now. We have two proper world-class strikers. What an assist from Mdouli there, by the way. I don't even know what he was doing, but that was just absolute perfection. That man's 34 years old and is still capable of nonsense like that. I mean, I never play with old players in Football Manager. This is a completely new experience for me. Mdouli's old. Arnaut in midfield, old. Most of the back four, old. It's just not a team I would ever put together myself. And if we were here for 2 or 3 seasons, I'd completely disassemble it and sign a load of 23-year-olds. But they're not bad, are they, these old men? It is possible to win stuff with pensioners. Right, let's take Arnaut off. Get Fantan on, just switch the midfield around a little bit. That'll do, actually. And then Oscar still not turning up. I mean, if we were to stick around, we'd absolutely be looking to sell Oscar. I think what I'll actually do, though, is take off Mdouli because of his oldness. Give him a little bit of a rest. Get Bobby Drake on up front, who he's not been scoring a lot of goals, but has been playing a part. He's been playing the last 20 minutes or so of every game for quite a long time, and he's getting involved in the action. So I quite like Bobby Drake. Again, if we were to stick around, he's a player we'd look to sign permanently. I think he's on loan from Leipzig, where he wasn't getting a game at all, but he's now in the full German team after 3 months of being on our bench. So Leipzig should probably have given him a go. In other world football news, Tottenham are top of the Premier League for the first time since I left, and are looking good for a first Premier League victory without me at the helm. So it's good to see they're still in decent shape. They've got Oscar out the way, reinvested the money sensibly, and are now doing all right. I just don't know what's happened to Oscar in the 3 years since we were at Tottenham. Right, we have applied the pressure. Now we just need the pressure to get to Barcelona, and we'll find out if it did just before the Dortmund game that's coming up in a second. 2 massively important pieces of news. Firstly, Barcelona did slip up, and with 4 games to go in the season, we are top of the league on goal difference. The pressure is now all on us. But also, the mind games have begun in the second leg of the Champions League quarter-final against Dortmund, because we've agreed to sign their best player for next season. Christopher Rucker, a 20-year-old German striker who's got 1 goal from 2 caps. He's got 5-star potential. He's exploded onto the scene for them this year. We're signing him for £80 million. I'm not even going to be here, but I've got to bring some wonder kids in. So he's arriving, and we're also going to be bringing in Kevin Costa. He's confirmed as well. He's a 20-year-old French wonder kid defender. And we're also going to be bringing in Kylian Alves, who's an 18-year-old French wonder kid striker. And then we might bring in another one as well. We've got £70 million to spend. I'm just doing it all on the never, never. I've got to leave this club in good shape, whether we win the league or not. If we do another season, I want those players. And if we're not here next year, at least we're leaving the future of the club in fairly good hands. But this is the team that we're going to be playing for this second leg against Borussia Dortmund. I don't even know if we've made changes. I can't remember what the team... I don't think we have. I think it's the same team that was in the last game. I've just spent 20 minutes messing around doing transfers. So that's why I don't remember if I've changed the team or not. I don't think I have. Let's just get into the game. We're 5-3 up from the first leg. So we have just the 5 away goals, which is quite handy. Now we just need to make sure that we don't mess this up somehow. Dortmund playing a 3-5-2, which I find troubling because teams don't usually play it against us, and I don't really know how our tactic matches up against a 3-5-2 because we face it so rarely. Hopefully it won't throw us off guard too much, and what I really want here is an early goal. So Oscar, with 3 minutes on the clock. He's had a really poor season by his own standards, but he's finally starting to find some form when it really matters. And that'll do. That's a good goal from Oscar. Here we go. Look. He's in space on the edge of the area and just absolutely thumps it past the keeper. He's hit it much earlier than anyone would expect him to hit it, and because of that puts us 1-0 up, 6-3 on aggregate, and we're in good shape at the moment. Let's just not throw this away. We could be facing a Champions League semi-final in our near future, and I'm kind of in two minds about whether I want it. Now it looks like we could win La Liga. I wouldn't be that upset to get knocked out of the Champions League. I feel a bit upset now that goal's gone in. Because that was the guy we've just signed as well, wasn't it? Rotger. Hold on, let's have a look. I mean, he needs to work out what side his bread's buttered. He's here next year. He wants to watch himself, or he's going to make a few enemies amongst this Atletico team. The little rascal. But Dortmund have actually had the best of it early on. 2 clear-cut chances, more possession, more shots. We've just had the one attempt on goal, really. There's been a couple of other shots, but none of them worthy of a highlight. Just a piece of brilliance from Oscar to kick things off. But what was Calvello doing there? I mean, that was the most risky cross-field pass you'd ever see. But it seems to have come off, and it could even lead to a goal here, because Fantan's in and does score. It's 2-1 on the night, 7-4 on aggregate. And I want to win the Champions League again, but I also want to win La Liga more. Oh, this is getting so complicated. But Oscar involved again. Nice little through ball. We get a little bit of luck as it sort of bounces off the Dortmund defender and makes its way through. And the keeper was, I don't even know what he was doing there. That's some very poor goalkeeping from the Dortmund keeper. But if we can get a third goal now just before half-time, I think that's probably that. And it's Oscar again. And he's been nowhere. I mean, when was the last time you saw Oscar have a good game? I mean, it's months ago. Months of real time, not months of game time. But he seems to have woken up. He's obviously got his Bayern Munich roots. He's decided that he's going to be the man to get rid of Bayern's rivals with just an actual proper world-class performance, probably for the first time in an Atletico shirt. And goodness me, has it been a long time coming when you consider how much money we spent on him. But Camacho now crosses in, Pirani's there, it's 4-1, and that's that. We're into the semi-finals of the Champions League. I think I noticed that Stoke and Juventus are the 2 teams that are already through. I'm not sure what the other game going on tonight is. I've been so focused on transfers and La Liga that I've not really been paying as much attention to the Champions League as I could. But I am thinking both Stoke and Juventus are very beatable. If we're a team that can do this to Dortmund, did we already knock out Paris Saint-Germain, or was that last year with Bayern? I don't remember. It's this season seems to have been going on forever. But we're a good side, and I think we're definitely capable of beating either Juventus or Stoke if they are the other 2 teams. We just need to find out who the 4th team is, and obviously make sure that we don't throw this away, because we're doing it Kev style. We're just attacking when all we need to do is shut up shop at this point, and we're not going to concede 5 goals. But we're just going to keep attacking. Oscar's scored again now, and he's having the game of his life. That's his hat-trick, and I think he made the other 2 as well. We're 5-2 up, and Oscar finally looking like £80 million off a player. And if he can do this for the next 6 or 7 games, we'll win everything, because an in-form Oscar is the best player in the world. We just haven't seen an in-form Oscar for so very long. But perhaps he's finally over the injury problems and the language barrier and whatever else was stopping him properly settling with us, and he will just start doing that to other teams. And Rotger really needs to watch himself here. We're spending £80 million on him, and he's doing his best to try and keep us from the semi-final of the Champions League. I guess what he is doing, though, is justifying the amount of money we've just spent on him. There aren't going to be many Atletico fans who are looking at this game thinking, oh, he's a bit of a waste of money. They'll look at that thinking, well, he's tearing our defence apart. He's doing to us what Oscar's doing to them. And we've got a really good defence. Our defence is our strong point. So we'll have him. Thank you very much. He's only 20. He's only going to get better. He's a good signing. Right, Oscar, what can he do now? Finds Pirani. Calvello crosses, doesn't make it past the first defender, but he does win it back. And now we're trying to build from the back, but actually ending up just going backwards. And it's gone about as far back as it can go now. But Oscar's picked it up again and continued the run. It doesn't need to go back to Oscar, though, because Pirani has scored. It's 6-3 on the night, 11-6 on aggregate. Why isn't the Champions League like this in real life? Football would be so much more fun if all teams just went gung-ho and tried to be awesome. This is the kind of football I want to watch, and it's just so much fun. Goals really seem to be flowing now with this Atletico team. It's been It's taken a long while to put my stamp on the team, but it finally feels like they're playing the way I want them to play. Let's make a couple of substitutions. Nuhad's going to come on at left back, and we'll bring Wagner on into the midfield because Arnaut's an old man who's struggling a little bit at this point. But I don't think we're capable of throwing it away from here. Surely it's got to be a 6-6 and then some for us to be able to throw it away at this point. Oscar, what a pass! I mean, it's that far away from landing on the toe of Mdouli. First time pass just lumped forward and across field, and it was so perfectly placed, and they defended it incredibly well. And now they've got a goal back again. It's 6-4 now. 6-4 in the night, 11-7 on aggregate. We still surely can't throw it away, but we could end up with what would be our 4th 6-6 draw of FM17, which is utterly unheard of and ridiculous. Yeah, obviously the defenders, their ratings not so good as the attacking players. But we'll bring on Sanchez at right back just to try and add a little bit of energy back there. Let's go and score another goal, though. It doesn't matter if we keep conceding as long as we keep scoring. And Mdouli's in, and it's a good save from the Bayern keeper. And with 7 minutes to go, Dortmund need to score 4 goals to get through to the next round. They're not going to do that, surely. So, despite some comedy defending at times and conceding 7 goals in the Champions League quarter-final, we are comfortably through, and now it's all about the run-in, and it's going to be an exciting couple of days of videos as we work out whether or not we're going to be able to win a couple more trophies on our expedition for gold. We could conceivably win like 3 major trophies over the next 4 or 5 episodes, because we've got the Liga, we've got the Champions League again, hopefully, and the Confederations Cup with England. It's all starting to hot up on the Expedition of Gold. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.